floors necessary in order for the project to proceed.
Okay,
What you have before you is porch replacement at the Henderson residence at 26501 Henry, and it is a non-contributing resource.
okay,
Madam
then,
Chair, the floor is yours.
okay, we'll go ahead then and call the November 3rd, 2021 Historic District Commission meeting to order at 7:34. I have on my watch. Okay, first order of business is the approval of minutes from the September 1st meeting. Did you all have an opportunity to review those? And does anybody have any corrections, additions, or other comments? No? Okay. All those, I would like to motion to approve the minutes from September 21st.
First. Move to approve.
Second? Second by Martha. All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay.
Robert, did you vote?
I abstain, I wasn't here for that meeting.
All right.
Okay. And those are the only minutes that we're doing, right?
That is it.
Hank, okay, I had couple other sets.
We're working with,
Now,
we're working with the person who does that.
I'm like, September 20th, 2020.
Yeah, it's September 1st, so yeah.
It's okay. Okay, great. So then, we only have one application in front of us this evening, and it's the porch replacement at the Henderson residence at 26501 Henry. And who is representing the Henderson, speaking on behalf of the Henderson family?
Well, I'm Krista Henderson, but I
Okay.
think, is somebody else speaking on behalf?
I mean, I don't honestly know. We're the contractors that are proposing the portrait.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I could make a suggestion, why don't I go first, if it's okay with them, and then they can fill in any blanks that need be.
Okay, does that work
Is that-
for Ms. Henderson? Does that work for you? Everybody else? Okay, then I will move my spot in front of the screen.
I'm gonna put you guys in the dark for just a little bit here. Okay, so this is again, a non-contributing resource, but in order for you to have some kind of idea of what it is that what we're doing here. This is the front portion of the house here. This is the area that they're concerned about, right in here. This is the view of it from the street. You can see it right here. This is the drawing here, or the plan, if you will, that we have. This shows that the porch and the dimensions of what's going to be put there, so that you have an idea of what the dimensions are. They do have the treads at 7 inches, which is acceptable per code. Here's a little closer up view of this, which shows some of the bricks deteriorating in through here. And then on the other ones, you can also see the cracks on the stone up in through here with this particular photograph. Here you have this showing edge deterioration and deterioration of the wrought iron rails on the side. And you get a little bit better view of what's going on there.
Hank, is it an aggregate right there already existed? Or is it
This
just
already
more
exists.
worn?
This part here exists.
Yeah, but that's an aggregate, right? Or is it just worn out?
It's pretty well worn.
Yeah.
This is a side view here. If you're looking, you can see that some of the railing is actually rotted away completely, and you can see cracks in the steps and in the cap. In particular, this part here is cracked from the corner of the step to the side. This is the other side, which shows the crack coming through here. So both corners and everything is cracked forward of that point. And that's really all we have. So basically, when you take a look at the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines, number 1, a property shall be used for its historic purpose or be placed in a new use that requires minimal change to the defining characteristics of the building and its site and environment. There is no change here. The house is still a house. There's no use change whatsoever. The character of the property shall be retained and preserved. The removal of the historic materials or alterations of features and spaces that characterize the property shall be avoided. Part of the thing with this is that the concrete and the rails show considerable deterioration. The rails are not fixable at that point, and the concrete cap is cracked up substantially, as you've seen in the photographs. For 3, each property shall be recognized as a physical record of its time, place, and use. Changes that create a false sense of historical development, such as adding conjectural features or architectural elements from other buildings, shall not be undertaken. Again, this is a discussion item. It is a non-contributing resource. 4, most properties change over time, and those changes that have acquired historic significance in their own right shall be retained and preserved. This doesn't apply as nothing has yet been changed yet relative to this request. 5, distinctive features, finishes, and construction techniques or of examples of craftsmanship that characterize a property shall be preserved. There's a typo in there, but the applicant has provided the details that would represent their position for replacement. Stands, I should have deleted the previous sentence. 6, deteriorated historic features shall be repaired rather than replaced. Where the severity requires a replacement of a distinctive feature, the new feature shall match the old in design, color, texture, and other visual qualities, and where possible, materials. Replacement of missing features shall be substantiated by documentary, physical, or pictorial evidence. The pictorial evidence is something that you have here today. The applicant is elected to apply for new. The photos document the position that it's deteriorated. Number 7 is chemical or physical treatments that cause damage to historic materials shall not be used. That's not what they're doing here. Significant archaeological resources affected by a project shall be protected and preserved. That's not happening here as well. Number 9, new additions, exterior alterations, or related new construction shall not destroy historic materials that characterize the property. The new work shall be differentiated from the old and shall be compatible with the massing, size, scale, and architectural features to protect the historic integrity of the property and its environment. This is not an addition, but it is an exterior alteration, but since this is a non-contributing resource, the port should be reviewed accordingly. And 10, which is the last standard, new additions and adjacent or related new construction shall be undertaken in a manner that if removed in the future, the essential form and integrity of the historic property and its environment would be unimpaired. This really is difficult to apply because once the old porch is gone, it's gone. Again, this is a non-contributing resource, but what you have to understand here too is that what they're putting back is going to be similar in nature. So I believe they have some samples of the brick, which they may want to pass around so you can see what it is. Gentlemen, I'm going to assume that that's a pretty good color match on that.
Yes, yep.
Hey, can you show that one picture from the street again?
Yeah.
The beginning one that you showed?
This one, Steve?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the next one too.
You want that one or the one down?
No, well, just go back, okay,
Back one more?
that's good. Okay, thank you.
So that's what they're looking at as far as this. My understanding is that they're just replacing the porches and they're not going to be putting railings back in, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, Madam Chair, the floor would be open to you for any comments or questions.
Okay, great. Mrs. Henderson, do you have anything else to add to the presentation by the city or the?
No, I think Hank covered it.
No? Okay, great.
I have a question.
Well, let's just start with Mark and let's go around. with
Sort of
everybody.
applies generally to everything.
Sorry?
Let me shoot it out there, and we can
Okay.
discussion do that. Because it is a contributing resource, how do the standards apply?
Hank, I mean,
Yeah, if you're asking me, I'm gonna tell you that basically what they wanna do is you wanna kinda keep the integrity as close as you can, but because it's a non-contributing resource, the level of scrutiny is not gonna be the same as if it was a contributing resource. So basically what you're looking for is if you can get kind of the same thing that you had there, a very similar thing with the understanding that even though this is a non-contributing resource, that what they're proposing is reasonable for the project, that would be how you would review it,
not radical.
not radical.
Not radical. Okay. Okay, does that satisfy you?
Sort of,
Okay, Mark, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you. No questions?
no questions.
Okay, Robert, no questions? Martha, anything to add?
So the materials are gonna be the same? You've shown us the brick. Are you gonna be doing concrete or limestone or what on the caps?
It's gonna be, exposed aggregate to match basically what the concrete looks like now. So the concrete has been worn away and it has like an exposed aggregate look to it at this point in time, and that's what we're gonna replace it with.
So then that's a switch in what is originally there.
Well, but see, that's what I was asking, because what they have, what they've had probably for the last 10 years already is an aggregate look, because it's been worn away.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you replace it with stark, brand new concrete, it's just gonna be bright white.
Too much.
And are you replacing the door sill as well?
No, ma'am.
And what about the decorative features on either side of the door? The painted area, is that gonna be touched at all?
No, ma'am.
All right. Steve, any questions or comments?
You can just confirm from what I can see from the drawings here that you made and what I've observed in the structure, it looks like everything is going to be as it was before, or as close as you can make it to what it was before, other than the railing, correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I guess the only question I have is either, is the porch, itself or the new concrete walkway, larger or smaller than what's existing? No?
No, ma'am. Everything is to the existing dimensions.
Okay. And Hank, we don't have anything to worry about code-wise for the removal of the railing?
We don't, because it's not tall enough to require a railing per code. And the landings are such that there's substantial room on them, so that there's not anything, and the risers are perfectly fine in height. And, the treads, obviously, because of the size, are gonna be more than
The
sufficient.
footprint is large enough?
Yeah, so there's no code requirements for this at all. If they did wanna put a wrought iron railing back, it would certainly be in character of the house and would certainly be favorable to have done. Whether or not that's in their future plans, I don't know, but they're here just for the porch
But
tonight.
it always can be done afterward, correct?
Sure?
Okay. Anybody else have any other comments before I ask for a motion? No? Martha, are you satisfied?
I guess I'm surprised that you would do aggregate when it's like an introduction to a new material. Even though the concrete that's there, it looks like aggregate, it's not aggregate. And, I don't know, I just think, I don't know, it feels funny to me. I can't explain it any better than that, that's all.
What gauge or what size are the aggregate pebbles? Are they the smaller ones, or I know
Pea
there's,
stone,
sorry?
pea stone,
They'd
Oh,
be the
they're
smaller
pea
ones. Yeah,
size,
they would
okay.
be the smaller
So
ones.
they're the smallest ones.
yes,
And what color?
pea stone.
It's a
It's like a
natural,
variety, it's a
They come
blend of.
assorted.
I've seen it in all different colors on people's aggregate,
It's
whatever
usually
they put
it's
in.
usually a spray on dye at that point, that's why. A sealer, a colored sealer, which we use clear.
Uh-huh.
So shades of gray,
I mean,
probably?
you could do a 6A board, like 6A stone, that would have larger stone and gray, but. it
But
would
they're
change
mostly
the
shade-
Texture of the aggregate.
They're mostly shades of gray?
Correct.
Right,
Correct, yes.
right.
Yes.
And then the brick that you showed us has a yellow cast to it, but the brick on the house appears to be white.
No, it's yellow.
It's yellow?
The pictures don't do it right. We ran into the same problem, that's why I threw other pictures on there. It's more of a yellow house than anything.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm done with questions.
Okay. Steve, anything else? Anything
No.
to add? Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and ask, if anyone would like to make a motion on behalf of the project in front of us. And if you're so inclined, if you could go ahead and cite the standards, remembering that this is a non-contributing resource.
Yeah, I'll move to issue a certificate of appropriateness under all applicable standards.
project as presented? The project as presented?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
I would second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the project as presented? Say aye.
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 Okay. There you have it. Unanimous.
Yes. Thank you.
Fantastic.
You folks are approved. I'll put in your stuff for your building permit. If the building department has any questions, I'll probably tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for bringing the samples. That was great.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
the only other thing that I have for other business will be, next month, there will be appointments and election of officers for the upcoming year.
Okay.
I will tell you that right now, Jim Malure is not going to take a reappointment for his second 3 years because he has to travel extensively for work, and he regretted not being able to be here tonight.
Oh, shoot.
But
Okay.
he was not going to be able to take a second 3-year appointment and realistically contribute from afar.
Okay.
And as we're back to in-person meetings. So the city commission will receive what the boards and commissions' needs are for different boards and commissions.
Mhm.
And then the city commission will make appointments based on that, on who's available and the needs for that. Other than that, I have no other business.
Okay, so if anybody knows somebody who'd be interested,
Yeah, it's always a
Have
good
them.
idea if they can go on the city website, they can get a citizen's interest form. And not just for historic, but there's all boards and commissions on there, and it's a fillable form on the website.
fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open and close public participation, seeing that there's nobody here other than the applicant. Then if there's no other business, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, Martha?
Second.
Mark? Thank you very much. Quick and easy. Thank you all for
Assuming
coming.
all in
It's
favor.
7:51.
All those in, yeah.
Did that beat my?